Hello and welcome to the program Moneyline with Nancy. It is, and I am Nancynnaji. Today on the program, we will be looking at the 10 naira per litre excise duty proposed by the federal government, or in fact, that will be executed by the federal government on non-carbonated drinks, non-alcoholic drinks, and what they call sugar-sweetened drinks. So if you have a sweet tooth, you should know that you will be paying an extra 10 naira per litre when you take any of those beverages that is sugar sweetened or any of those non-alcoholic drinks. My guest will be joining me shortly. Taiwo Oyedele, who is the Africa tax leader and a fiscal policy partner at PricewaterhouseCoopers. But before we go into all of that, let's quickly bring you the business news. The Federal Executive Council meeting presided over by President Muhammadu Buhari on Wednesday approved 115.4 billion naira for the dualization of the proposed Kano-Zaure-Kongalam Highway in Katsina State from single carriageway to a dual carriageway. The Minister of Works and Housing, Babatunde Fashola, who disclosed this to State House correspondents after the council meeting, explained that the project, which covers 131.4 kilometers, will be completed in 48 months. The Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority says the federal government has paid bridging claims amounting to 22.7 billion naira to transporters of petroleum products. The authority also revealed that government would also pay another 30 billion naira to transporters this week to ensure the smooth distribution of petroleum products across the country. The Chief Executive Officer of the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority, Farouk Ahmed, at an interactive session with downstream industry stakeholders on Wednesday, said an area of concern was the transporters and payment of their bridging funds. According to a document titled Schedule of Promissory Notes issued by category as of December 2021 by the Debt Management Office, the federal government is expected to pay off 5 promissory notes worth 311.73 billion naira, which all will mature in 2022, while payment for 3 promissory notes will be made to state governments. The remaining 2 will be made to judgment creditors. Harnessing the value chain in the government creating an enabling environment. Harnessing the value chain and the government creating an enabling environment, as well as the high patronage of made in Nigeria products, has been prescribed as some of the possible ways that will promote and encourage micro, small and medium enterprises in Nigeria. This was the submission at a meeting in Abuja. Emmanuel Aldo reports.
Undisputedly, micro, small and medium enterprises play important roles in a global economy. According to the International Trade Center, MSMEs account for more than 90% of all businesses and around 70% of jobs worldwide. This category of businesses also stimulate economic growth and provide employment for large sections of society, including women, young entrepreneurs, and poor communities, in recognition of the importance of MSMEs in encouraging innovation, creativity, and decent work for all, as well as achieving the goals of the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. It's no longer news that the MSMEs in Nigeria are facing different challenges, one of which is making their product meet international standards, hence low patronage for Nigerians and little or no acceptance abroad. The visit of the anchor and executive producer of the African Foremost business show, Moneyline with Nancy on Africa Independent Television, Nancynnaji, the Business Visa and Training Company Limited, give an insight to how Nigerians' products can improve its production and packaging in line with best practices.
So if you do cassava, a farmer has planted cassava, instead of just taking the cassava and just selling it in the marketplace and you sell it at peasant prices, if you are lucky that middlemen will not come and take it and they make more money off you that have farmed that cassava. Can we go steps further and process to starch and process to gari, which we are doing now. But the thing is that how can we process it in a way that is standardized, package it in a beautiful manner that we can export?
The business anchor guru says value chain analysis is important in understanding markets, interfirm relations, and critical constraints that limit MSMEs' growth and industry competitiveness, stressing that collaboration among private sector market actors to address value chain constraints can result in market-based solutions.
The gap for us only is how can we harness the value chain and not just about bringing out the product raw from the ground or whatever and we export. Even now, we even hardly export. But where we can make the money is how do we process and how do we make it better? Because I also do understand that along that value chain, we are creating a lot of jobs.
Due to our vast knowledge and experience in the business, economy, and finance, and also for using our platform to push government and stakeholders in creating policies that encourage small business owners to grow, Nancynnaji was confirmed the ambassador of Made in Nigeria Products and Services Patronage Campaign. Mohammed Garba, Executive Chairman, Business Visa and Training Company Limited, while presenting the Ambassadorial Award to Nancynnaji, prayed for continuous patronage of locally made goods as manufacturers are striving to produce and package their products to meet international standards, calling on government to create an enabling environment for small businesses to strive.
The challenge is patronizing these products. They were exposed to competing with other nations' products, which they found their way to into our country. Take a visit to any of the supermarkets around. You will see for yourself. It's just like a competition. Everyone wants to sell things into Nigeria, forgetting what we have. And the unfortunate thing, some of these things are just flavored from our own original products. And especially the SMEs, government refuses to recognize them, to give them an up hand, to even where they should sell these things.
We are developing a particular brand particularly for men prostate health. And we were able to, from the same little fruit, actually develop at the moment 6 variants of the same, you mentioned value chain. We have the drink, which is highly beneficial.
Health amongst children, make it exciting for children to eat, so they know that healthy is fun. It's not blah, like they say, So this is a product that's founded here. We started years ago, because about 4 or 5 years ago, riding on the wings of Business Visa, we've gained visibility, so we're in a few stores now, and we're hoping to gain more.
It should be remembered that federal government's 50 billion export expansion facility program is targeted at boosting Nigeria's non-oil exports to West Africa, building on ECOWAS Trade Promotion Organization network, and the aim is also to promote made Nigerian products. It is evident to note that if Nigeria can have multiple of business visa training company in Nigeria, manufacturing sector will record a remarkable height, hence development in the non-oil sector. Emmanuel Haudu reporting for Moneyline with Nancy.
Thank you, Emmanuel, for that report. And I also want to say at this time, thank you very much for deeming me worthy for the Ambassadorial Award for the patronage of Made in Nigeria goods. I'll continue to use this platform to advance the businesses of especially small-scale businesses as well as micro and what we call nano enterprises right now in Nigeria. I appreciate that. All right, moving forward, the federal government has announced plans to tackle land degradation in the 19 northern states and the Federal Capital Territory with a $600 million loan from the World Bank. At a consultative workshop on climate resilience and nutrition-enriched agriculture innovations organized by Harvest Plus and the International Crops Research Institutes for the Semi-Arid Tropics in Abuja. The National Project Coordinator, Nigerian Erosion and Watershed Management Project, Salisu Dahiru, explained during the workshop that intervention was done through the new map Agroclimatic Resilience in Semi-Arid Landscapes project. Finally, the Digital Cooperation Organization, a multinational organization, has announced the launch of the DCO Startup Passport Initiative to be rolled out initially in Saudi Arabia and Nigeria. According to the organization, the initiative will make it easier, quicker, and less expensive for startups to do businesses across borders and potentially open up these startups to market size of more than 500 million people. All right, that's it for the business news. Let's quickly take a break, and when we come back, I'll be running you through the morning markets brief, and thereafter, Taiwo Oyedele will be joining me as we'll delve in to the sugar tax in the country. So if, like I said earlier, if you have what they call sweet mouth, and if you are a fan of taking sugared drinks, be ready to pay more, says the federal government. We'll be giving you more details when we return. Do stay with us. Don't forget, join us on all our social media platforms: Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, what else? LinkedIn, and Instagram. We're there. The BS finally took over of the exchange on Wednesday. That's midweek, as the broad index, as you can see right there on the wall, closed at 46,930 from about 47,111 points. It's closed on a Tuesday. If we take a look at what necessitated that negative return, shares of Cordville, Zenith Bank, Transcore, as well as WAPCO, Unilever, MTN, GTCO, as well as Nigerian Breweries, all help pull the exchange down on Wednesday. As for today, the Exchange Chief Executive Officer will be briefing market stakeholders on the outlook of the market for 2022. That is scheduled to hold 1 p.m. West African time. That's, I think, in the next 2 hours or so. If you're interested in that, you can get more information from the website of the NGX. All right, if we move over to other markets, let's take a look at the markets diary and see. I will start from the Naira, really. We saw the Naira depreciating against the US dollar on Wednesday as it ended around 416 Naira 25 kobo at the I and E window. Okay, markets diary, this is talking about the interventions. All right, if we take a look at the foreign exchange reserves, according to the Central Bank of Nigeria, on February 2nd, foreign exchange reserves dipped to 40.01 billion naira from 40.03 billion naira on January 31. If we take a look at the Eurobond market for Wednesday, we saw yields drop as though it was a bullish market on Wednesday. The FGN bond market traded in mixed directions. For treasuries, we saw some kind of minimal volumes traded on Wednesday. Interbank markets declined due to low inflows. Now, moving over to other African markets, the EGX30 in Egypt a bit on change earlier today. Ghana traded in the red, while South Africa opened very beautifully, half of 1%. Don't forget that the South African market tries to mirror what's also happening in global markets. Inflation numbers came out from Europe. Now let's move over to Europe. Inflation numbers came out from the Eurozone, about 5%. So global inflation is really catching up right now. In the United States, inflation is at about 7%. In the Eurozone, about 5%. BOE decisions will be later today. The president of the ECB, Christine Lagarde, the former chief of the IMF, will be giving a briefing later today to see if there will be rate hikes this year. Market stakeholders are watching for that. And perhaps some analysts have said that the markets have already priced in rate hikes this year. Don't forget that our own monetary policy meeting was held last week, Monday and Tuesday, and the CBN's MPC left interest rate unchanged at 11.5%, citing that the 15.63% inflation rate seen in December was just like a flash in the pan, so to speak, because it was a festive season, among other things that were said. All right, let's move over to the United States. Earnings in focus for those of you that are subscribers of Netflix. Netflix disappointed. Some other companies disappointed, like Goldman Sachs. But where should we go to now? Let's move over to commodities, where we've seen oil price nearing about $90 a barrel. Brent crude earlier this morning at $89 US per barrel. Natural gas is trading at $5.20. Cocoa is doing $2,600 US a 10. Gold is just a little bit over $1,800 an ounce. Palm oil, it's really trading down 1.16% at $5,528 US. All right, let's quickly take a break, and when we come back, Taiwo Oyedele will be joining me from Lagos. We will be talking about the sugar tax. I guess it's going to be an interesting conversation, you know, so sit back, don't go anywhere on your device. Try to follow us on social media. On Twitter, we are MoneyLineTV. You can also find me on Twitter at Nancynnaji. You can also find me on other social media platforms. Send your comments, send your questions right about now, and we'll try to answer them. We'll be right back.
In economic literature, if you have abundance of a particular product, that product is cheaper in your country, and that gives you a comparative advantage in the production of those things that use that commodity. And we are throwing everything away. Yes, World Bank does its studies, but it is ideologically driven. They have taken the ideological position that Nigeria must be the same, pay the same price as the global economy for fuel. Unfortunately, they refuse to take the position that Nigerian workers must be paid the same wages as all over the world. Because we are talking of relative prices. Relative price between wage is a price. Relative price between wage and fuel. And for instance, if we do those ratios, we will see that Nigeria is paying excessively high for these motors. So I think that we need to actually, when we use on the surface economic analysis, I laugh because we need to understand the whole logic of the economic theory and therefore apply it to the specific situation in order to us to come to a position.